morning, ladies and gents. Welcome to Living with S. I'm your host, Sharon Mundia, and we are at Two Rivers Mall at Cafe Coco. We've got our green tea, peppermint tea, and I'm about to get into the world and the career and the history and the story and everything of Fade Ogunro. She started off in the media space over 10 years ago, hosting red carpet events like the Mamas, the MTV Awards. She was also a radio show host, and now her career has sort of drifted into the tech industry, the tech space, which is just incredible and wild and just amazing, which is why I'm so keen to hear your story. So first, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So before we even get into your career trajectory, I really want to understand a little bit about your childhood and your upbringing.
Right.
Can you tell me about that? Where did
Sure.
you grow up?
So I was born in Nigeria, and then at the age of 7, I moved to London. My mum's actually mixed race, so she's got family from England. So we moved to England, but my dad always stayed in Nigeria. So it was me, my sibling, my older brother, who you may have heard of. His name's Chesson, and he's the director, so he does all the music videos. What people don't know is that he directs and I produce, and we've got a company together called Film Factory. So I moved to London in 1994 or something like that,
Okay.
1993, I can't even remember.
Yeah.
And I was in South London, and gosh, growing up was pretty interesting because I moved to London and I just thought, wait, we're getting on a bus? Like, 'cause you know, like in Africa, we used to have drivers and everything. So my friends all thought I was a snob. I was just like, I have a help at home. He
Yeah.
washes up after me.
Right.
I have a driver, I don't get the bus. And they were just like, how snobby are you? So it took a while for like the culture for me to
Right.
adapt. It took probably a few years. And then also I was identified as gifted and talented. They gave me an IQ test when I was pretty young. And they identified that I had quite a high IQ. So I was on the gifted and talented register. And then I used to go to Oxford University every Saturday for Saturday school. So
How old were you at this point?
I was in year 5. So I was probably
Wow.
about
You know,
9.
okay. So
So from the age of about 9 to about 13, I
Yeah.
was going to Saturday school every Saturday. And even down to like my GCSEs, I was meant to do GCSEs in year 11, the final year of school,
Yeah.
of secondary school. I did some of my GCSEs in year 10, and then I did some of my A-levels in year 11.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane. And so were you gifted in like the academic side or more creative?
It was always a little bit of both, because I was one of those, I'm annoying A-star students, and I'm like the loudest in the class, and then I'm just always disruptive, and then the teacher's just like, you're never going to learn anything.
Right.
And then they give me a test, and I'm like, yeah, I still got the highest score.
Yeah.
So school was really easy. I'd probably
So it came naturally to you, you felt? You
super
did-
naturally,
okay.
because I didn't even know I was gifted and talented. So they gave me an IQ test, and based on the results is when they decided that I should go to Saturday school, because the regular education system, I guess, wasn't challenging enough for me. So I think the only subject that I didn't do well in was cooking.
All right.
The funny thing is, I'm actually a really good cook now.
Oh,
so
okay.
I think I kind of was just like, wait, you gave me a B? I'm not a B student. I'm gonna show you.
Wait, and that's didn't do well as a B. You got a B,
Yes.
and that's not doing well in cooking.
I got an A star in everything else.
Wow.
So like the classes that I did, especially maths and science, you have to get A star or A, otherwise it's a fail. If you don't pass, like if you literally don't get like 95% or whatever,
and
it's
that's a fail to you or to
Like you get an F.
Oh, like an actual.
F. So there's no B,
What
there's
happened
no
to
C.
what happened to that gradient?
Yeah, like that's
wow.
why it's in the top tier, so they call it like
Wow.
a top test.
Right.
So you literally your only grades options are like A star,
Yeah.
A, and maybe like A minus.
So
and that's it.
So growing up being this brilliant
I was a geek.
but disruptive and like fun-loving student, what did you think what did you think you were going to get into? What industry?
Gosh, I really didn't have a clue, because my dad owns an advertising agency in Nigeria. And my mum was kind of really into fashion. She actually had a store as well, and she sews brilliantly, from bridal clothes. And we were almost like the Sound of Music kids growing up, or wearing matching outfits all the time. So I didn't necessarily think, oh, I'm going to go into fashion, I'm going to go into media. I just kind of thought, the epitome of success is owning your own company, because that's
Okay.
what my dad does, my brother does, owned his company, my mom owned her company. So I really wasn't sure. I just knew that being an entrepreneur was almost like the measure of success, even though it's not accurate. But at that age, I don't know, ballerina, or I want to be a pilot, or I want to be an engineer. I never really had that target. And then I found it even more difficult when I was moving up into university, and a lot of people were saying, just study whatever you're good at, study whatever you're good at. And I was just like,
I'm good at
it's not really easy.
everything.
Like, it's not that easy. So my dad gave me the best advice ever.
Yeah. Oops.
He said, figure out what you're good at, figure out what you like doing, not even what you're good at, figure out what you like doing, figure out how to make money from it. So if you know that you like sleeping, go and register at a medical research center that's going to pay you to sleep. If you know you want to play PlayStation all day, figure out, I don't know, if Sony or somebody's
now, there's so many YouTubers who are making millions.
Money from just literally people watching them play PlayStation
games,
or play games.
Yeah.
So with that, I was kind of like, okay, thanks, Dad. Like, what do I like doing? And I was like, I like reading Vogue. So I was like, maybe I'm going to be a fashion journalist and I'm going to work for Vogue and I'm going to interview Naomi Campbell. Exactly. I'll be the editor-in-chief and I'm just going to be this fabulous lady gone with the wind. So I studied journalism and I specifically went into fashion journalism with investigative journalism as well. And I studied journalism, creative writing and Spanish. I actually speak French, Spanish, and I understand Italian as well. So that was what I actually studied in the end, and it came super easy just because, hey, it's English and it's like you don't have to think too much because it's second nature. And I was meant to hand in my dissertation in like July or August, but I saw a cheap flight to New York that was in May, so I ended up handing my dissertation in like April, which is like 4 months early, and I still got a first class. So education was always kind of like a breeze for me.
Right.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
And
so now you're in the world. You're slowly sort of getting into the world of publishing or media.
Yes. So I was a freelance journalist for a while. I've been published in the London paper, South London Press, The Voice, and then I decided that I want to launch my own fashion label, but I didn't have the money to pay for the overheads of a store. So I was like, I want to do an online store, and I need to figure out how to work the Google ads so that I can appear on the first page of Google. So I ended up taking you study for the AdWords exam, and I became a certified Google advertiser. And then they kind of hit me up somehow and just like, hey, we saw that you did this test and you did pretty well. So have you ever thought about working with Google? And I was just like, okay, I've just come out of university and I want to open up my own fashion line with no money, and then Google offered me a job and I'm like, okay, sure, I'll do that.
And what were you doing at Google?
As an SEO specialist, a search engine optimization specialist.
Okay.
So I'd make sure that in the organic search, if you've got a website or whatever, after a couple of months and people just type in TV presenters in Kenya or female presenters in Kenya, that your website will appear first without them having to put in your name. So just like buzzwords and phrases that people could find to easily search you. They're called keyword searches. So I did that for a while, and I had like the F1 campaign and the Premier League, and I did a lot of ads for them online.
So at this point, is the passion for fashion coming,
It's
or
always
like
been
is
there.
it still brewing somewhere inside you?
It had always been there, my passion for fashion. I think probably when I was about 9, 10 is when I realized that, I've got a little something going on here. I used to basically get lots of my mom's material because I was not the best at sewing, but I can needle and thread. Give me needle and thread and I can make you any outfit.
Right.
So I'd always just like get a material and I'd like pin it on me and I'll stitch myself into it, and people are like, what are you wearing? And I'm like, it's fashion, darling. You don't have to understand.
You'll get it later.
I'm expressing myself. And my mom was very, very like encouraging and like, you know, if you want to run around in a towel and you think you look fabulous, go ahead, girl, do your thing.
So at which point then did you step into the world of media and, you know, start hosting your own radio show? And
so this was all whilst I was in London, right? The only experience that I had with media, apart from like online advertising, which is like a professional, by this time, my brother, Chasson, had opened up his own production company in the UK. At the time, I wasn't really aware of how to monetize it. As far as I was concerned, I was just helping my brother out. So he'd say, I need a makeup artist. And I'm like, my friend works for Max, you can do the makeup for your music video. I need a location. My friend's dad owns this bar, we can use that. Then later on, I was just like, wait a minute, all this pre-production work that I'm helping you out with, I'm a line producer here, like, you need to pay me. So that was kind of like my first step into understanding the structure of production. And then in 2000, so I did that for a while in London, part-time, but it wasn't really an official job. And of course, every time I'd come to Nigeria on holiday, sometimes I'm on set with my dad's productions as well, with all the ads that he's filming. So I thought it was kind of normal for everybody to kind of like have a camera lying around your house now and again, because my whole family were always media related.
Right.
And then I moved to Nigeria in 2010. And I was kind of like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself, but I know I've got a journalism degree, so I'm going to fall back on that. And I started as a freelance journalist in Nigeria as well. I wrote for Next newspaper, Guardian newspaper, Elan magazine. I had my own column in PM newspaper, which is like almost like a tabloidy, but I kind of, my article was called In My World, yes. Okay. So I kind of linked what was happening in Nigeria with what was also happening with the foreign counterparts as well. It was almost like a current affairs, but with a bit of a tongue-in-cheek spin to it. I did that for about 4 months, and then I went into a radio station that also has a TV station. They're called TVC. They were the nearest TV station to my house in Lagos. So I just went there and I was like, guys, I want to help you maybe produce content. I want to start my own production company, but I don't have the funds to do so maybe if I could get some experience. And they're like, sure, come and visit us. Then I went to the studios, and it was, at the time, because they've completely revamped and they're amazing right now. Yeah. But back then in 2010, it was like literally like VHS tapes. Yeah. And I was just like, wow. I don't even know how to operate any of this, or even, so I'm not going to regress my knowledge. And it just so happened, God put a divine connection. I stepped out of the studio, and I bumped into a radio presenter who just finished his show. And he was like, oh, what are you doing here? And I was like, I'm a TV producer and I'm trying to get into the production world. And we were talking, and he was like, have you ever thought about going on radio? You have a really good voice. And I was like, really? How much are you going to pay me? Yeah. Like, I don't care whatever I'm doing. Just like, I don't have any money right now, so I just need you to pay me. So I was like, well, I still want to do my production Monday to Friday if I can, and perhaps on the weekends, maybe Friday evenings, Saturday evenings, if we can work something out. So I trained with them for like a week, and then literally I had my own radio show. And that was like a really small radio station. And then my radio station started trending on Twitter. At the time, I didn't even have my own personal Twitter account. So lots of people in Nigeria and Lagos were hitting me up like, oh, your show's trending, it's really popular. And the biggest radio station on Beat FM, the Beat 99.9 FM, they kind of contacted me. I was like, okay, we heard that your show's really good. We've actually got a slot open, a position open as a radio presenter for us on the weekends. Do you want to come and try out to see if you're interested? I was like, sure. Yeah. So I was on the original radio station for less than 6 months before I jumped onto Beat, and that's literally like the largest radio station in West Africa. Wow. So the trajectory of my platform and my brand kind of just skyrocketed because Beat are like so huge. Yeah. And then from there they partnered up with so many various companies such as Viacom. So because of that, Viacom would always choose a couple of presenters, whether it's TV presenter or radio presenters, to go and represent them and do interviews for Beat FM at red carpet. So they sent me off to the BET in 2012. That was amazing. I saw Beyonce, I saw like Ciara. It was an amazing time. Yeah. And then I did the Mamas like in every location, whether it was in Lagos, whether it was in Joburg, whether it was in Durban. Yeah. I did about four Mama events or so, and they were
actually we did meet at one of the Mamas.
And I think it was maybe 2013 or something.
Maybe 14.
Oh, 2014, maybe
14. Yeah.
One of those years. Yeah. And then after the Mamas, I also was sent to the EMAs in Milan. I met Justin Bieber. I had an exclusive interview with Mark Ronson.
So like literally your world completely changes and shifts, and you go from, wanting to get into the world of publishing and Anna Wintour into hanging out with like the A-star celebrities of this world, having a radio show on the biggest station in West Africa.
Yeah, it's funny how life pans out.
Right, and then there's still more, which now brings us into Bookings Africa, which you're now the CEO and founder. But I know we have to take a break. Okay. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more on your fascinating career trajectory.
Thank you.
I wish I was that smart. Like I was just like getting into school and everything was just like.
Oh,
anyway,
gosh.
We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back, everybody. We are at Cafe Coco at Two Rivers Mall, and I've got the beautiful, intelligent, and talented Fadi Ogunro, who's the CEO of Bookings Africa. And before the break, you were just taking us through your career trajectory. So then, how did we get into the world of tech. How did that come about
Oh,
with Bookings?
that once again, my life is never planned. I tell people I don't even know the password to my Facebook. So if I'm in tech, you can do it too.
Yeah.
So it's really not that difficult. It's just almost realizing what your strengths are. So I'm going to take you back a little bit. Go
Okay.
ahead.
What are your strengths? I'm curious to know now that you said
Definitely solution providing. So I can go into any sector and I just see the gap. And like, okay, this is either how you structure your business better, or this is how you resolve whatever issues you have. Like literally, I say that I'm always putting out fires as a producer, right? Like every time there's a problem, everybody comes to me. So my brain has just always been geared
Wired
into,
to
okay,
fix.
this is a problem, this is broken, how do we fix it? And I figure it
beautiful.
out.
That's really how we should be raising our children, to
Yeah.
be problem solvers. So you were saying you want to take me back a little bit.
Yeah, so Beat FM, I was literally only on Beat FM every Saturday and Sunday. So I had a weekend radio show. Monday to Friday, I was running the production company. My brother lives in London. He doesn't live in Nigeria, but everybody thinks he does, but he doesn't. So I was literally the exec producer of Film Factory. So Monday through to Friday, I'm producing all the music videos for your WizKid, Tiwa, David O, everyone, Two-Face, Wande Cole, Burna Boy. I've shot all their videos, right? I've produced all their videos.
And then weekends doing radio.
And then weekends. And then I do a lot of TV commercials as well. So all your telecoms, your banks, some beauty, like international. I've done like Lancome, I've done Ferrari, Puma, Nescafe, the list goes on. So I decided, because I'll also be honest with you, part of my aim when I went into radio on Beat FM, because it was the most popular radio station, a lot of the artists, majority of the artists were fighting to get a spot on Beat FM. And I thought, right, I don't know anybody, I don't know any of these artists, I don't know how to contact them. At least if they respect me and they want to come on my show to be interviewed, I can then premiere their songs and then off air, hey, by the way, who's shooting your music video? Do you want me to? So that was basically how I was getting my clients, by getting on radio as well. So it was like a 2-in-1.
Smart, yeah.
Right, because I love to talk, so I was getting paid to talk. I love music, I was getting paid to listen to music.
Right.
And then I was also fetching my, sourcing my clients that way as well. So after a while, I kind of got, I think my creativity with the music industry kind of got saturated, and I was like, I want something a bit more challenging. I trained up my production staff so they could handle music videos independently without me physically being on set. Then I started focusing on corporate jobs. So you know, all the TV commercials and documentaries. And I did that. I was on radio Saturday, Sunday, and running my production company for 5 years. In December 2015, I was like, that's it. I can't do this anymore. I need to just pick one thing. And I was like, obviously, I'm going to pick my company, my production company. January 2016, I was fully fledged. I came off radio, came off TV. I was like, I'm only doing production behind the scenes, right? I want to be corporate.
Was that a difficult decision to make?
It was, because a lot of people were like, your show is amazing, we loved you. And it was like, I felt like I was almost walking out on my fans, you know, my followers. But at the end of the day, I say, you can't have two husbands.
Right.
You know, some men might have two wives, but us females, it's really, really rare to have two husbands. So I was like, I have to focus on one thing.
Okay.
So definitely, Beat FM was kind of like my side bay, and after a while I was like, hey, you know what, I've got to focus on my main guy, right? So that's how I focused on Film Factory. And then I realized there was a massive gap in the market. We have such a fragmented media industry across the whole continent. I might get a brief from a client who wants to shoot in, I don't know, Ouagadougou, but they don't have the budget. They have the budget to, like, they want to shoot in Nigeria. So I'm like, okay, we can shoot in Ouagadougou, but I don't have a crew there. I don't really know anybody who I could maybe rely on in terms of referrals, because the standards that I have for my production are so high that if I ask you to refer somebody to me, it might not be the same standards. So I was then like, how do I keep my budget efficiently low but still have a great production no matter where I am?
Right.
And then sourcing the creatives that you need outside of the market that you know is so time consuming, so expensive, and so inefficient.
Right.
And after about, let's say, 2 years of just struggling, well, I came up with the idea of Bookings Africa in 2016. So as soon as I left Beat FM, because obviously focusing on the corporate side of things, I just realized that my work was just, because like I said, I'm a solution provider. So I was like, what's the best way to resolve these issues? And then I was actually quite stressed out. I remember a client had this particular brief which I just couldn't find the right locations and the right talent for them. And I was stressed out, I passed out on my sofa, and then I heard a TV commercial saying, hey, if you need to book a model, a voiceover artist, a photographer, a makeup artist, a clothing stylist, a filming location, go to bookingsafrica.com. We've got millions of people all over Africa, and just like you're booking a hotel, at the tap of a button, you can book them right now.
This is in your dream, or what do you mean on TV? You heard a
I
commercial?
thought I heard a commercial. So I woke up and I was like, finally, this is a website that's going to solve all my production problems. And my TV was off. And I was just like, wait, did they take the light or something, or what just happened here? So I was just like, I remember the name of the website, it was Bookings Africa. I'm going to go on there and I'm going to find everything that I need. So I went online and the domain was available to purchase. And I was just like, are you kidding? Like, what is going on? I thought, like, am I being pranked right now? Because it wasn't a dream. I tell people, like, it literally wasn't a dream. I heard it. Like, I literally heard a whole commercial resolving my problems.
Yeah.
So that's how the actual source, the birth of the idea came, and it was an external gift to me. It wasn't something that I internally I thought of. I honestly believe it was a blessing from God. And I registered the website right there and then.
In 2016?
In 2016. I did nothing with it because I was just focused on my corporate world, my corporate jobs. And every issue that I faced, or like 90% of the issues that I faced as a producer moving forward from 2016, I kept thinking, if Bookings Africa was available right now, I wouldn't have this problem. If Bookings Africa was available right now, I'd be able to find a special effects makeup artist in Ivory Coast. If Bookings Africa was available right now, I'd be able to find a multilingual voiceover artist who can do a francophone, and So I was just like, end of 2017, I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna take a leap. This is going to be the biggest leap of my life, more than leaving Google and moving to Nigeria, more than leaving radio and focusing on production, because even with production, I always had Chesson as well, so we were almost like the yin and yang. So all the creative stuff and the networking I'll do, and the marketing I'll do, and sourcing the clients, and all the production, and all the technical stuff he'll do, and he'll film, and he'll edit, and he can do graphics, and I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. So it was like a perfect match. But now I'm going into a whole new terrain that I have no clue. So in January 2018 is when I officially opened up the Bookings Africa office, and it was real like Jeff Bezos style.
So it was an office. You opened up an office.
Yeah. So I told my brother, I was just like, I love you, bro, but I'm just gonna have to step away and do my own thing for Bookings Africa. So luckily, I found an office space literally like 2 streets away from my film factory office. It's really small. I got a desk, and I wrote an orange highlighter and stuck an A4 paper behind me. Bookings Africa. I didn't even have a logo then. And I was like, right. Okay, I'm the CEO of this company and I don't know what I'm doing right now.
So at that point, what were your first steps? What were the first few things that you knew you had to do
to
get
educate
it off
myself.
rolling? Okay.
I literally had to go back to school. So I brag, it's a stupid, silly brag, but I say I have an MBA from YouTube.
Okay, the school of YouTube.
The school of
Been
YouTube.
there, honey. Had a few classes there myself,
Exactly.
on like random things. YouTube has come through.
It is amazing what you learn. So I was like, okay, if I was going to go back to school, what course would I take? And it's quite amazing that Harvard University, they actually have an MBA course that is actually online. So it's called Harvard iLab, like iPhone. The Harvard iLab on YouTube, and literally it's like a tech startups 101 dream. It's like they film the live seminars and the live tutorials and classes. Basically, instead of paying tuition and going to Harvard University, you can literally learn everything on YouTube
For free?
For free. It's Harvard iLab.
Oh, so, thank you for the plug.
Yeah.
Harvard iLab.
Yeah.
YouTube.
So it literally tells you everything about how to write your pitch, how to write your business model, what investors are looking for, how you can prove that this is not just an idea, but it's actually a business. So that's called your MVP, your minimum viable product. What's your value proposition? What's your USP? I had to learn all of that, even organogram of how to start up a company and structure it, and all of that is on there. Even if you want to get into like the accounting part of it, so you want to do your financial forecast, and you want to be like and analyze, because for investors they want to know, okay, what's your 5-year trajectory? What are you going to make in 5 years' time? How do I then analyze that?
Well, and were you looking for investors at that point? Were you looking for funding?
It was just an option.
Okay.
I was just like, in case, because I didn't really know much, but it's like if you really want to scale up really quickly, one of the things that I have is barrier to entry is first mover's advantage. This is the first Pan-African platform that connects creatives with clients directly, and we streamline the process from sourcing all the way to payment at the tap of a button. There's no other platform in Africa that does that. So the only advantage that I have, because reproduction of technology is very quick, it's very easy. Anybody can code and say, right, we know how to do that, and they'll just copy and paste really quickly. So now, what are the barriers to entry you're going to have for your potential competition? And first mover's advantage, it's like the Uber.
Right.
It's like now, even if you want to use another search engine, you'll still say, I'm going to Google it.
Yeah.
It becomes a verb. I'm going
Right.
to take a taxi because I'm going to Uber it.
Yeah.
And that's the benefit of first mover's advantage. You become a household brand quicker. So that was really one of the things that I wanted to focus on, was how to really harness the natural advantage that I had,
Yeah.
and of course scaling quickly, which is going to be costly.
So how were you funding it at that point?
All my money.
Your savings?
Yes, I hadn't.
Okay.
I didn't get a salary. My last salary was in December 2017.
Yeah.
So January 2018, I was literally everything: the computer, the office. I funded
Yeah.
that all myself.
Right.
And then what I did was based on what I had learned online. So I did literally like 3 months of studying. Literally like 20 hours a week. I was literally just studying for 3 months. And then I got a friend of mine who can build websites. I wanted just a one-pager. And it just literally had, pick your type of talent, your type of skill. So you're a makeup artist, or you're a model or voiceover artist. So your service that you're providing, choose one. Give me your name, give me your email address, give me your phone number, give me your social media handle, and identify just like a quick questionnaire. Would you like to be signed up to Bookings Africa so that clients can book you directly? What are the concerns that you have? So the people just gave me like quick one-word answers and everything. And then before I knew it, I had 800 talents who had signed up. And because I was also doing my productions at the same time,
Yeah.
I was now approaching and introducing what I was doing to the ad agencies and the production world. Before I knew it, people were then calling me like, oh, since you've got like 400 models that have signed up, we need a model that's this height, this tall, and it's got this skin tone, and can you source me that? And I was like, sure, I'll send you the options of what I have. And before I knew it, we were then making revenue without even the website being live. And this was in 2018.
Wow.
So I was then able to take the data that I have of the over 800 talents that have signed up, the revenue that I'd made in the first like 2 quarters. Then I started using that with my pitch, my business model, my pitch deck, and trying to source a seed investor.
Yeah.
So I got almost like an angel investor who's like my dad. He's almost like my second dad, really.
Yeah.
My best friend's dad gave me like a little bit of money so I can finish off building the website and then do a lot of some social media promo. That was around September 2018.
Okay.
And then we worked on the website up until it went live in April 2019.
This year.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So in the couple of years that you've been in the tech space, what has been the reception to a woman, extremely fashionable, gorgeous, stepping into a world that she isn't familiar with? Have you found that people have been like, or has
I have actually, because I remember a lady, she is the or one of the top MDs or one of the top positions for a very popular drinks brand. So I was at a tech conference on the 1st of June. I flew in from Mexico after this was like a sponsored trip by some travel agent that wanted me to go to Mexico and take fabulous pictures. I flew in on a Sunday morning, the tech event was Sunday evening, so I put on my suit and I went to the event. And then she was just like, oh, aren't you the media girl that was just taking bikini pictures? Why are you here? And I was like, oh yeah, I am that media girl. I used to be, but I'm so much more than that.
Yeah.
And I then gave her my whole thing, and this is what I'm doing, and this is what I've achieved. And straight away, it was like a no-brainer. I saw like the opinion that she had of me. She was kind of like, she almost like, she was astonished almost to a point. But I think it's normal. I don't mind surprising people.
Do you
And
enjoy?
I've
Actually, I was gonna
always
ask,
been
yeah.
underestimated my whole life, because
Right.
people would just think, oh, I don't know, you've got a British accent, you lived in London, you're fashionable, so that's all you can do. You should be a presenter or something. Like, they just limit me
Put
to
you in a
this.
box.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, I'll do that, and I'll write the entire script, and I'll get advertisers on the show, and I'll sell it to a network. And now am I just a presenter? So
Yeah.
that's like, I always try to push beyond. And Not because I'm trying to prove anybody wrong, but because I know that I've got so much more that I'm not going to let anybody's, I always say, it's like a Nigerian saying, don't let anybody's child give you a headache. Barack Obama is somebody's child. I don't care who you are. Yeah. You're simply another person. You're a human being. Yeah. So there's no way that your opinion of me and the little that you know of me is going to affect my productivity.
Right. And so, what you have to offer, which is a lot more than just. And I love that you're breaking stereotypes, because generally, and especially in Africa, the numbers are quite low when it comes to women in the tech space. So, and black African women in the tech space.
For me, I believe so much in the platform. I believe so much in Bookings Africa. Yeah. I don't really care what you think about myself. Right. As long as I've got 5 minutes with you, I'm going to pitch Bookings Africa to you so you understand what my goal is, what the benefits are, what the value proposition is. Take that how you can. But it doesn't have anything to do with my achievements, but it's the plan and the vision that I have for the brand, I believe is so limitless that for me that's the main focus and the main goal. So you can think you might not like me, or you might think you might limit me to media, fine, but did you know I've got Bookings Africa and this is what we do and so next time you want to make a artist, you better go on Bookings Africa. I've done my pitch and I'm good to go. Right. So I feel like anybody I come across, I'm so busy that I really don't have time to really focus on what you may or may not think. And I've never really been intimidated by, my parents just didn't even let us have that time to even consider what anybody else was thinking. And we were never praised based on what you were wearing or what. It's always like, what are you achieving? So I never judge anybody based on anything. So I'm just like, okay, but what have they done with their life?
Right.
What are they doing right now? How are they improving whatever industry they're in? What value are they bringing? Exactly.
I love that. Okay, we've got to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to get into the details of Bookings Africa and how us in Kenya, we can be a part of it. Definitely. Join. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back, everybody. So, Fade, 2019 April, the website is live. That's Bookings Africa. You've obviously been in the creative industry for a while. What are some of the shifts that you've noticed when it comes to creatives and them sort of establishing themselves in the digital era?
In the digital space, I find that with the amelioration of social media, I find that it's now almost like a business. So you need a makeup artist, you go on Instagram. You need a photographer, you go on Instagram. You need this, you go on social media, you know. But at the same time, there's so much. Social media has connected us to an extent. However, it still doesn't dispute the fact that we're still fragmented. So it might be easy for you to find a makeup artist in Kenya on Instagram, but I'm here on holiday and I don't know any makeup artists. So how do I know who's actually credible? Yeah. Right? So now the fact of, even if you can search for somebody on social media, the transparency, the efficiency, and also just making it standardized. So how do I know if I've only got $200? How do I know that I'm getting the best service possible for this price? It's like you go on holiday and you want to book a hotel.
Right.
And you know your budget is $100 a night, and you can have so many options within that $100, and you can make an informed decision just because it's clear, it's concise, it's transparent, and it's efficient. It's very cost effective as well. So what I found is that with the creatives, they all have a lot of the same problems across the continent.
Okay.
So haggling for prices.
Okay.
In terms of agencies taking a lot of fees, people not paying. So you might have an agency book you directly and they'll pay 50% up front now and tell you, oh, we'll pay you your balance whenever the client approves the job. That job may never get approved. I had a radio interview this morning and the presenter was like, yeah, I've done some voiceover jobs and it's been 3 years and I'm still waiting for my balance. Yeah. So with Bookings Africa, we eliminate all of that. So now from the client side, the process from sourcing all the way to payment is all done on the platform. So you can see the talent availability. You can search and filter based on certain criteria, from price to the actual even to performance reviews. So
Okay.
once, go ahead.
So actually, maybe why don't you break down how Bookings Africa works?
Sure.
So let's take it from a point of the creative coming to sign on. How does it
So
work?
you go on bookingsafrica.com, you go to sign up, and then there's a really quick registration, which is you put in your name, your email address, and your phone number, and you press register, and you put in what service you want to provide as well. You click that. Then an email verification is sent to your personal email, because we want to make sure that your email address that you put in is accurate.
Yeah.
You click the email verification link and it takes you to open up your profile. It's a five-step registration. Number 1 is your bio. Number 2 is your work history. So if you're a voiceover artist, you upload MP3 files.
Okay.
If you're a makeup artist, images, JPEGs. Same as a photographer, clothing stylist, fashion stylist. And if you have a filming location.
Right.
So even like where we are now,
Yeah.
they could easily take pictures and upload it and say, hey, you can book us and shoot this show here.
Yeah.
So you put up your work, your portfolio. Then step 3 is your services and prices. So itemized every single price, you itemize every single service that you offer with a price.
Okay, so let's take makeup artists for instance. You would then be saying for wedding makeup it's this much, for
per hour or per
hour,
look,
yeah,
per
okay, per
person.
hour, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So you really just break it down, okay, as much as possible, and you put
Exactly.
your own.
The
price.
talent puts their own rate. So if
Okay.
they charge $100, I keep 20%. So once you've been booked, so after you put your rates and your services, then you put your working hours. So you might have a 9 to 5 and you can only do makeup in the evening or on the weekends.
Right.
So you can actually put in your hours and the days, or you might be gone on holiday in the next month and you want to say, no, I'm not available in the month of September, and you can block book that off. So then the final stage is you put in your bank account details that you want to get paid into. And 24 hours later, as long as you've filled in all the right criteria, then your page is live, your profile is live on the platform. Sometimes for verification, we may ask for other things such as photo ID, your passport photo ID, maybe like a utility bill with your address. You know, if we can't, because there's ways on the back end that we can verify you. So if for whatever reason we can't, then we might email you to ask for that additional information. So now your page is live. And the client can then say, I'm looking for a makeup artist who can do red carpet this Saturday and is not going to charge me more than $150. Everybody who's available, everybody who matches that price list, that filter, appears. Now the client can then go and click and look at all the work that you've done, read your biography, see your history. It's almost like your own personal website. Right. And they can just say, right, okay, I really like this person, they're available, I'm going to book them.
Yeah, I just had a thought. Sorry for a second. I just thought this would be amazing, because when you say client, I assume it must be like a big brand looking to come in and book work.
It's also.
But I just realized
household.
even if you had like a
wedding
exactly. If you had a wedding that was out of town and you were like, I have no idea where to start when it comes to Mauritius, and they're florists, everything. This is so
exactly.
genius.
The possibilities are limitless.
Yeah, you could have all sorts of vendors.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay,
right now
continue,
we're specializing in models, voiceover artist,
Okay.
makeup artist, hairstylist, clothing stylist, I feel like I'm missing something, models and photographers and filming locations.
Okay.
So when the app launches though, I'm adding a few more services. I'm going to add event MCs and hosts, and I'm also having a VIP section as well. So you have VIP talent, which would be for verified social media influencers, such as yourself. So that way you can sign up. And all of this, by the way, is absolutely free. So now let's say we've booked this makeup artist to do makeup on Saturday.
Right.
And we're going to have 2 scenarios. Scenario 1 is she comes over to wherever the specified location is that you provide. By the way, when the app launches in October, if you've booked the makeup artist for, let's say, 10 a.m., by 9:30 a.m., there's a GPS tracking location, so you can see exactly where she is 30 minutes before the job begins. So that way you know how on time she is, and she can also see where you are as well. So now she meets up with you at your location. She does a great job. You say, hey, this is my reference image of the look that I'm going for. She does a fantastic job. Job completed. On the app, because we've booked her for 11 o'clock. So around 11 o'clock, we'll start prompting you, say, is the job complete? Is the job complete? Yes, the job's completed. Now, rate and review out of 5 stars. Then do you have any comments? Very on time, very polite. And then all those ratings and reviews appears on her page. Right. That job is completed. She did the job on Saturday, 2 working days later. So by Tuesday, she's got her money, 100%. So if now, we've now got the other scenario where, let's say, she unfortunately has a car accident on the way to your house. Number one, you can see exactly where she is. So can we as well. That way she can't say, oh, I got there at 10 o'clock, but Sandra wasn't there. No, we know exactly where the both of you were because of the GPS tracking. That's number one. Number two, she does your makeup. So that's if she doesn't appear, right? You can then end the job, dispute, didn't show up on time. And then we can see, yes, of course, she was meant to come there at 10 o'clock, 10:15, 10:30. She still wasn't there. Cancel, and we refund you immediately because the money has been kept with us. Now, you have up until 48 hours before the actual talent arrives to cancel yourself. So let's say you've booked somebody on the 12th of December. On the 9th of December, you literally, there's a cancel button that in your dashboard as a client, you can press cancel and immediately, like within 24 hours, the money's back in your account. From 48 hours before the event, the cancel button disappears from the client app. So now it's non-refundable. So if you don't have a valid reason as to why you want to actually cancel, we still pay the talent 50% of the funds for the client canceling, just to show that we value their time.
Yeah.
Now, so we're going into the scenario where she didn't appear and you don't even want a replacement, you just want to cancel and get a refund. Okay, no problem, they didn't show up, we'll issue that immediately. Now there's the other option where she actually arrives, or he, whoever the makeup artist is, they provide their service, but you're not happy. You don't even have to argue with them. All right, Mr. Makeup Artist or lady, thank you very much. Job ended, dispute. And what's the problem? Not happy with the job. Did you give them a brief? Yes, I did. Can you attach that brief? So you might say, okay, I took this picture of Rihanna and this is what I was trying to look like. And then you take a selfie of yourself and say, hey, this is what I got, like before and after, right? This is what I got. So we can then say, oh yeah, that was not the execution. You did not hit the mark. You're not as talented or as skilled as you've made out to be on your social media platform. So then we'll say, thank you very much. Could you please rate the artist still? So you can then rate them 1 star, whatever. That will also appear on their platform and then on their profile, and then we also give you like maybe a partial refund or whatever, there's certain criteria depending on what the dispute is. We might, from anything from a full refund to even a percentage off your next booking, we'll issue you that as a client. And then if the same makeup artist 3 times in a row gets 1 star, they're blocked off the platform.
Right, so that you're protecting the clients
exactly.
as well.
And then it becomes standardized because now we know what is the average price for a makeup artist who can perform this amount, who has this skill set.
Do you have any say in that? Can you sort of...
When they're signing up, when they put their services, we have a pricing guide and we can say, hey, based on our experience of the creative industry, this is what we suggest based on you've only got 2 years experience, or you've got no experience, or you've got 10 years experience, and you're a photographer for all these top multinational brands, so you're like a top, a high-end talent. This is what we suggest that you set your pricing at, but you don't have to take it. It's completely up to you. You can say, I want to charge R1 million, or I want to charge 10 rand, even though we say, hey, we think you're probably about, I say rand, sorry, Kenyan shillings. I've just come from South Africa, so yeah.
So actually, speaking of South Africa, why did you choose, after Nigeria, why did you choose to step into South Africa and Kenya?
From the research, basically, it's the biggest media hubs. Because we're lifestyle, beauty, and media, so we're going to be trying to create a booking platform for the lifestyle, beauty, and creative space. And if you look at outside of Nigeria, the next countries that do have a huge presence and have a huge market share, definitely South Africa, Kenya, and then I'm also going to be doing Abidjan and Ghana. So the reason I'm actually here is to hire a country manager, because I don't want it to be seen as a Nigerian tech platform. It's actually a Pan-African platform that's trying to revolutionize the creative space. And I want to make sure that I'm speaking to the users, whether you're the talent or whether you're the client. So I need a country manager to be the ears and the eyes on ground, and also handle all the strategic partnerships with all the local brands as well. So you might partner up with a local we might partner up with a local makeup company, and give all the makeup artists who are signed on the platform maybe 10% voucher, and that will only be available in Kenya for the Kenyan artists. They might do something different in South Africa. So I want the strategic partnerships to really speak to the audience and also the user, in terms of there's so many dynamics in terms of cultural dynamics that we might not face in Nigeria, but you guys face here, or you guys might face here that we might not face. So I kind of want the app to also be locally adapted to the users to make sure that it's as friendly as possible and also as relevant and efficient.
Okay. So Fade, from the 45 minutes I've been sitting here getting to learn your story and hear more about your work, it's clear to me that you are very strategic and intentional and focused. So what next for Bookings Africa? Like, what are you looking to do next that you can share with us?
Right. So first of all, we opened up in Nigeria just as a website. And then literally about 2 weeks ago, I opened it up to South Africa and Kenya. Yeah. So all the makeup artists, all the photographers, all the creatives in South Africa and Kenya can now go onto bookingsafrica.com today and register for free. The next step is the app. So the app is going to go live in October, and that's when I'm going to have all the creatives that sign up in South Africa and Kenya can then get booked from October. So I'm encouraging everyone to sign up now, so you'll be one of the first people that'll be able to get booked from October. And then I'm also going to have additional services. I'm going to have the social media influencer part for VIP talent. And then I'm going to open up, so the countries are, by October, it's going to be available in Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, Ghana, Abidjan. And then by January next year, the whole plan is for it to be available everywhere. So from Mauritius to Mozambique, from Egypt all the way down to Botswana, from Cape Verde down to Angola, everywhere. Wow. So I wanted, as long as you're in Africa, you should be able to sign up. So whether it's you speak Arabic, French, Portuguese, Swahili, it will be locally adapted to you. And then you can book and pay. So now we're connecting, and every client has the same choice. Right. So it's not just market specific. So you're not limited to only choosing creatives in Kenya. You can then decide, actually, I've always wanted to work with this hairstylist from Nigeria. I've wanted to work with this photographer from Senegal. I want to fly them over. Now you can go ahead and book them.
Incredible.
So now we because the whole point, the whole culture of Bookings Africa is connecting people in a transparent and an efficient way. So if I'm not able to do that, then it's not going to be a service that I'll offer. And I'm going to expand my verticals. There's going to be directories. So even if you're not a service provider, maybe you're a company. Maybe like an ad agency or a creative agency. I know that's at the Creative Village, for example. So they can then advertise their services in the directory, like listings. So that way, whatever you need in the creative space, lifestyle, beauty, and creative space, you can literally just go to Bookings Africa anywhere and book them, and you know it's secure.
Fade, that's just like it's incredible how much you've been able to do and push yourself in an industry that was so new to you. But right now, even as you're speaking, you seem so comfortable in this space. So thank you for coming. Thank you for creating a space, like you said, that is transparent and efficient and allows for creatives to be able to get jobs, to make money. Because a lot of times when you tell your parents, or when you start to think that you want to dive into the creative space, you think, how do I make it work? So any platform that allows for this to be as seamless as possible, it's very welcome. So thank you.
The mission is to be the largest employer in Africa.
Woo! I love that. I love that. Thank you, Fade.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gents, we're gonna bid you farewell now. Thank you so much for watching. If you are a creative in the fashion, media, and lifestyle lifestyle space, bookingsafrica.com. It's open. Go sign up and make yourself some money.
Yes.
Thank you to Cafe Coco for tea and your lovely space. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. sharp. So I better see you there. Bye, everybody.